Hello and welcome to Racers Now for a special edition by popular demand, and I mean it, popular demand. We have the return of friend of the channel, John Hutchinson. First question, John.
Yes.
When we first created the monster, or SD definitely helped create the monster, which is friend of the channel, it has just stuck. Like, people actually refer to you and just know you as friend of the channel. They approach you as friend of the channel. How was this idiocy that SD and I have created, with obviously your help, but mainly SD, how has this impacted on your day-to-day life at the race?
Well, when it's a punter that does it that says it in a friendly way, I enjoy it, and it's a bit of banter. When it's colleagues that repeatedly say it, it's jarring, to be honest. So I do, I appreciate the fact that it's stuck, and it has increased my business to a degree, and I do enjoy the banter with the public. But I mean, I have a proper name, so
I mean, this most recent uptick in interest in everything to do with Racers Now, particularly driven by SD. We just went to Carlisle on that Sunday after a week after Cheltenham, the 23rd. I went there. We basically stood at your pitch all day long, messing around, betting, doing videos. Next thing you know, we've done 300,000 views on Twitter, while SD did, and then we've never looked back, have we?
No, but I do. As I said, I enjoy the banter with the public, and I will. If someone comes up for a bigger price, generally speaking, I'll give them the bigger price and things like that. So, I do think that I've given my own little bit back by being as fair as I can to.
Very fair.
Yeah,
very fair. Just some rules, by the way. Correct me if any of these are wrong, John.
Yes.
Of betting with John Hutchinson.
Under
Number
BDC.
one. BDC.
Number one,
yes.
No, I'll tell you number one. Number one is don't try and bet with a card. That's number one.
That was number one.
Yes.
Don't bet with a card.
Right. Any more?
Number two.
Be prepared for the standard reply. It just depends which store I choose, but cards are for Aldi, cards are for Tesco, cards are for Asda, and that's the standard reply, I'm afraid.
Cards are for your wife, yeah.
Well, yeah, I haven't gone that far yet. It's a bit provocative.
Any other rules? SD?
Yes. If you're expecting to be paid, I don't know. £4.25. Just take £4. John doesn't carry change. Weighs his pants down.
Well, I've regularly given the punters £1 more than the due, just to round it up to the nearest fiver or whatever. And obviously, there was a famous incident of the guy at Newcastle who lived in Nottingham who didn't like it.
Yeah, problem with them Nottingham folk, you see, John.
Yeah.
What's on the moaning agenda, John? I know you do. SD normally encourages you to do a lot of moaning about Cartmel.
No. I've accepted that. I've said what I've got to say about Cartmel, and I even managed to throw it in from Haydock the other day as an aside. But I've done as much as I can about Cartmel. I'm just disappointed I've not had a proper reply, and it's disappointing that I've not been in any way involved in what can be done about it, because I raised the issue in the first place.
Well, it is. I think that is regrettable, John. And John, this is your time of year, isn't it? The next few months.
Oh well, now we're getting into the proper racing when the jump starts. Yeah, the jumps and the all weather. Yeah, the proper all weather season. I mean, so I'm looking forward to it.
You'll be looking. Where are you tomorrow? Because I know you were debating.
Well, I'm still here. Here we are at. Well, if I had my glasses on, I could tell you what time it is. So let's put them on. It's nearly 9 o'clock, and I've still not decided between Catterick and Carlisle. Carlisle obviously it should have been staged on the strike day on Wednesday, and has been moved to tomorrow night. Now, obviously, there won't be many people there, but equally, there might not be many bookmakers either. So it's a difficult decision. Whereas I think Catterick might attract more bookmakers than it otherwise would have done. So
I'm intending.
If you ask me to, I'd say I'm 60-40 Carlisle at the moment.
Swim against the tide, John, and go on. Tell us where you are this week. I'm not at Uttoxeter Thursday. I've not seen my mother for 3 weeks.
Or you're not going? So I'll be at Uttoxeter. That's all. I've only got 2 meetings this week, which is.
You're not doing Musselburgh Sunday?
Well, I don't. In my life, the Sunday's the first day of the following week, so it's. I may well do Musselburgh Sunday, but I'm doing Carlisle tomorrow and Uttoxeter on Thursday, and it's a very quiet week this week. I think it is for quite a few books.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think where is the
except those who go to the Ledger meeting. I have a pitch there, but I generally don't go.
No, I was going to ask you about Doncaster. So while we're at it, then we might as well talk about Wednesday. Do you think it's going to make any difference this strike on Wednesday? I'm not sure.
No, if you want the honest answer. No.
Well, my initial thinking was no, but I would just say quickly that the Sunday, so the news came out on a Saturday night. The Sunday racing, whoever you want to define that as, got quite a lot of coverage. There was on BBC. There was cameras at Pontefract where I think SD was. So if they can repeat that on Wednesday, or try to repeat that on Wednesday, I don't know what they've got planned, the powers that be in Westminster. That might be a way of getting the word out there, but I initially thought straight away it'll make no difference. The government
the reason I said no is I think that the whole publicity factor has nosedived since that Sunday, and unless it ranks back up for Wednesday, I don't think it'll have any effect. I think
that's what they're going to try and do. I think they were the two targets.
Hopefully that will happen, and then it may have an effect.
Yeah, the day after, i.e. the Sunday, and then the day itself. But this autumn budget's not until November the 26th anyway.
I can't help thinking that the right way of doing it would have been to affect a big meeting, not what was supposed to be on Carlisle, Uttoxeter, and somewhere else. It's not.
But the problem with that, John, is there is no racecourse in the land who will agree to it.
Well, no.
That's your issue.
Yeah.
So they've sort of picked this. You should be there at the placard in Westminster. You'd make a difference, John, with your hat on. It's unusual to see John's shiny head.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I thought wearing the Jordan cap inside was a bit eccentric, so I didn't.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't be wearing caps inside, John. No way.
Indeed. Now, people say to me, John, they to be fair, you've done this for the public. So when I go down on one of my southern jaunts at least once a month, they say, "Where's Fred at the channel?"
Yeah.
And this is great because John will be making an appearance down south, won't you?
Yes, I'm at Sandown in the early to middle part of the jump season. And
yes.
I am thinking of doing the Brighton Festival again next year after what you told me about Brighton's betting ring, that it's not that bad. So...
No. Well, I don't know. This was the Sunday, John. This was the Sunday, so I don't know what it's like in the week.
Well, I think you suggested I do the Sandown. What you did, a Sandown on Saturday and Brighton on Sunday. I may well consider that. But it's a heck of a long way for me to go.
It is. It's a long way, but obviously you've got your very supportive staff, haven't you? You've got Josh, who's. If you don't know, Josh is an absolute ace cricketer. He's probably the next Mark Butcher, and you've got Louis, who's probably he's doing sports massage.
Louis is the next Pan Butcher. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, it's Pat Butcher. Yeah,
Pat Butcher even. Yeah, I don't know who Pan Butcher is, but Pat Butcher. Yeah.
Yes. Pat Butcher. And I must ask you, John, I mean, I know we spend a long time slating race courses.
Yes.
But this at Sedgefield next year is ridiculous, isn't it? What's happened to you?
I can't. I've actually contacted ARC, the main man at ARC over it, and I didn't really get a believable response. Well, I got a response which I'm grateful for, but the logic of it defeated me a bit. I can't understand why a community race meeting on Boxing Day in the Northeast is being replaced by an all-weather meeting that not that many people have much interest in to actually attend in the Southeast instead. It doesn't make any sense to me. But there must be reasons. The reasons that I was given was a shortage of jockeys with Aintree being on, which I thought the obvious answer to that is, well, let some other jockeys ride then.
Well, yeah, the bank holidays are the chance for the journeyman jockeys.
Do we really think that this decision was made because of a lack of jockeys.
No.
It was done because of more money from the picture rights and less expense.
Well, exactly. And will you be there on Boxing Day, John? I know it's a long time off, but I may not go out to protest.
No, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm not protesting to that degree. I thought you meant, will I be at Lingfield then? I nearly said. Well, I won't tell you what I nearly said, but no, this year I will be at Sedgefield. I won't be protesting in some infantile way. I'll be there at Sedgefield, where I always go. Yeah. And then the year after, I'll be at Aintree. So,
yes.
Changing the subject slightly, there was a fella I know, SD knows him, went and had a decent bet in the Haydock Ring on Friday, and he said, borderline reluctantly, if you like, he said, SD's right. The value might actually be in the ring, because he was looking at the SPs compared to, because he's not been on course for a while. He was looking at the SPs to what was being shown to the industry and the prices available, and he knows his stuff. SD knows who it is. He was actually surprised. So it is a thing. What SD has been banging on this channel with the likes of John and other colleagues from the betting ring for a long time, that the value is in the ring. Yes,
the value is in the ring if it's a comparison between the bookmakers' prices and the off-course firms' prices, because they offer.
Just as an example, you were at Sedgefield last week. You got wiped out on the Nichols horse. Now, what price were you on that horse?
Well, I laid it at 10-1, which was the SP in the end. To be fair, because it drifted alarmingly, so it's probably a bad example.
But what price? Okay, then. What price was it on the machine?
I was 10-1. The machine was 10-1, and the general available price in the betting shops at the time was either 7.5 or 8-1. So 2 points difference.
Yeah. And you, of course, you laid the Reverend on Saturday. You look very ill when the Reverend went in.
Yes. Well. That was my late. I mean, it's happened two meetings running. My late. I wouldn't say the one at Sedgefield was my late of the meeting, but I didn't fancy it whatsoever, and managed to lose a few quid. It was only a few quid, having won on 5 races out of 6. And the Reverend, I couldn't have it over the extended trip, but it won. And these things happen. But thankfully, enough went right in the other races. So. I was gutted when it won. I couldn't believe it.
Well, everything he touched over the weekend won, didn't it, Haggis? Didn't he have 6 winners over Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
2 on Sunday,
yeah. But these aren't John's type of races. The best thing with John is you'll go to Uttoxeter one day and he'll say to you, well, I'll lay this at Nichols's. Paul Nicholls never has a winner at Uttoxeter.
Yeah, well, I've been on here before and told you my modus operandi, and I will have an opinion either on the all-weather, particularly if it's Wolverhampton, or over the jumps. But I find it very hard on the flat because it's not my turf flat racing is not my thing really.
Well, you can go to Wolverhampton.
You've got to specialise, and for me, it's like getting through the summer, getting through the summer without losing significantly is an achievement, because I've no opinion on the majority of the races, whereas the opposite happens in the winter, which is like a little bit counter to the majority of bookmakers, I would think, who prefer the summer racing.
Yes, John likes all weathers.
You can go to Wolverhampton plenty next year for the dogs on a Saturday night.
Yeah, well, I don't know how the pitches on the Wolverhampton were allocated, but
it was Monmore, wasn't it? Hall Green. I think it's that
Perry Bar.
Perry Bar, that's it.
Coming back from the dead, but Perry Bar.
Yeah.
I assume it was the Perry Bar list. But
yes, it was. Now, just on Wolverhampton, John. Now, I very often go on a Saturday night to Wolverhampton. Either do the Barney Rubble with Haydock, or I will. Or I'll just go anyway. Now, that's a stinker. Me and you don't live that far apart.
No.
It's an absolute stinker, because what it means to us is it's 2.25 to Southwell, isn't it? Even the way I drive, it'll take you 3.
That's right. Well, the way things are currently, it'll take me 3 days. Never mind 3 hours. But anyway, I'm disappointed that there's not been more of a mix on Saturday nights between the horse racing and the dog racing. The greyhound racing is going to be every Saturday evening, and the horse racing effectively no Saturday evenings. And I would have thought a mix would have been a better solution.
That course was built for Saturday nights. You'll remember
I agree with that.
I can't understand why they've not made it a mix. At the end of the day, if somebody's I know it's different dogs at different tracks, etc. But if somebody's a greyhound lover, loves going to the greyhounds in Wolverhampton, you've still got Monmore you could go to every Saturday. So why could they not have made it sort of an alternate between the dogs and the horses? I don't understand, but they haven't. That's it. I presume because the dogs will be more cost effective.
Yeah,
but yes. I don't know.
So let's just do some quick fire questions with you, John, and we'll you can just answer yes or no.
Yes,
or will answers. Yeah. Right. Which racecourse is the least bookmaker friendly?
The least bookmaker friendly? What do you mean? I'll have to
come back and bookmaker friendly.
Mean. Pardon?
On-course bookmaker friendly.
What do you mean friendliness between the on-course bookmakers or the ones who treat them with contempt?
I mean the racecourse treating the bookmakers with contempt.
Well, I'm not going to say treating them with contempt, but I'm going to say overcharging. And there's two courses. I'm not going to say Wolverhampton like everybody does. It's not fair. A lot of the bookmakers at Wolverhampton have helped me over the years, so I'm not going to slag Wolverhampton off. But the courses that I would bring to anybody's attention for poor value for money for the bookmakers are one of my favourites, Musselburgh, who seem to think they are Royal Ascot with the amount they charge, and similarly Chester. Chester are the same. It's the same group, of course, same group of race courses. So I would say those two are particularly guilty of overcharging and therefore have to be considered bookmaker unfriendly for the fact that they overcharge.
Okay. So a different question. What's your least? I know what your favourite is, but what's your least favourite to attend?
Track in the country. Least favourite to attend. Very, very good question. I don't have many that I don't like, but I would say Southall when it's a midwinter meeting starting early evening.
Don't like those. And I'll ask you one last one. Right. Give the Races Now viewers what you think is a horse that'll win over jumps this winter at a price that's chucked in somewhere.
I would.
I think I know your answer actually, but
it's a horse that's chucked in. I'm not allowed to say that, am I? So I would say that the horse that won the other day at Fontwell, first race, that had no form whatsoever, right-handed. You tell me the name of it because I've forgotten. The one that used to be.
Well, I know it was James Owens, but it'll be 2-1 next time.
Yeah, so. But I'm saying it'll run up a sequence because when he runs it right-handed, it'll be twice as good. Shantu Lucky was it called?
Shantu Lucky, yeah.
So I'd follow that until beaten, and even though it's odds on, you'll win plenty of races.
That way they had the farcical start on Monday.
Yeah, that was the first race. Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah. Now, John. Here's the big question: Are you coming to the?
Am I allowed to say the other one or not?
Yeah, go on.
You can do
what you want.
Well, I think that Raincloud, trained by Michael Chapman, is capable of winning a race in the right race.
SD tipped that last time, I think.
Because
SD didn't tip
it. It's run well 2 or 3 times.
Well, you tipped it to me, and I backed it, and it was.
And then it has a habit of running absolutely deplorably.
Well, it did when my money was on.
So if the trainer was to pick the right race, I think it's a horse capable of winning, at 50-1 someday.
I agree with you, and I'll tell you why I won't tip it. And I've got to be careful here. Let's just say, if money came for it and the right people weren't on, you know what might happen.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't tip it last time.
Yeah.
So that's why we that's why we do that. So are you coming to the truck stop, John?
I hope to be at the truck stop, but that getting up early is critical for me. So we'll see.
Well, sometimes
I'll be at the truck stop.
I'll give the viewers a bit of a thing here. Josh, who works for you, so I'll text Josh and say, John's not even read my message from last night, so this is 24 hours later. So sometimes Josh has to go around thinking you're dead.
well, one of these days I might make everybody's day and be dead. But anyway, at the minute I'm still here. I'm sure Shaker, whatever she's called from the other day, must wish that on me anyway.
Yes, you were slagging Shaker Risser off, and yes.
Well, I wasn't slagging her off. I was slagging off the journalism of saying that she looked delighted when in fact she didn't. So that was all it was. So yeah. Can I just go back to race courses very briefly?
Mm-hmm.
You seem to say there would be two, but there was only one. So just going back to race courses that are hard for a bookmaker, especially to drum up any enthusiasm, I'd have to include Leicester on jumps in midweek, because although there may be a reasonable crowd on eventually, there's no atmosphere whatsoever, nothing.
Well, they've said they don't want racegoers up there. I didn't know you bet at Leicester, John.
Yeah,
I don't go to Leicester, John.
Oh, yeah, I do have a decent pitch at Leicester, but I very rarely use it for the reason I've just said. Yeah.
Yeah, that Christmas meeting's all right, but it interferes with one of your other good pitches at Catterick.
It clashes with Catterick, and then they have a good Sunday meeting over jumps, and that clashes with Carlisle.
So basically, it's all. And they got rid of the Under Chase Day, didn't they? Which I didn't used to mind.
No, I think they've kept the Hunter Chases, but they're running a different way now, aren't they? Sort of interspersed with other races.
Yeah, I used to like the 2 miler because nothing. You very often used to get 3 milers.
Yeah.
In the 2 miler, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So you said before, John, we'll wrap it up in a minute, but you did say before, if you can get through summer, you're all right. Have you got through this summer without too many losses?
Yes, we had a very, very good run for a couple of months, and then a couple of bad meetings since, but nothing to be wary of.
And any pitches you're going to buy, John? Are we going to see John Hutchinson at a new racecourse or on a better pitch somewhere?
I probably have got it in mind to buy a better one at Haydock because it's local.
Flat or jumps?
No, I'm flat for next summer, because I'm quite happy with the jumps because I've got an opinion anyway. I'm not bothered if I'm number 25 or 45 or whatever at Haydock jumps, but Haydock flat is a bit different.
Yes, a very, very short journey from John to Haydock Park.
I can assure you, I won't be buying a new pitch at Chester. Let's put it that way.
I remember. Get me out of this shithole.
Yeah,
that was the day where you ate your pasta with your card.
That was the same day as the pasta with the card, and I said to Josh as we left, I might not be, I can't remember who I was working with, but whoever it was, it might have been Louis. I said, this is the highlight of the day, as we ended up in the queue to get out, first in the queue. And I said, this is the highlight. And when you've got that situation, you don't want to be buying another pitch at that track.
Now, one last thing, because I keep meaning to bring this up, actually, on a public forum. We're all on about race courses. They need to be more welcoming. Now, I'm sure you would disagree. There are a few nice ones, but don't you find racecourse parking attendants and traffic flow people the absolute scourge of what we do? They are horrible, a lot of them, aren't they?
Well, I'm not. I wouldn't say they're all horrible, but they don't seem to have any conception of what they're there to do. So, even our favourite racecourse is guilty. The people who man the car park entrance at Hexham, they stop every single car that goes in for no reason. You can know exactly where you're going, but they'll still stop you and say, where are you going and all this. Well, they're stopping the flow of traffic. So they're a bad example. But in the majority of cases, places like Cartmel, it's almost like when they put that high-vis jacket on, they're equivalent to, the local constabulary. And it's a horrendous impression. I have two issues with race courses. One is about giving a bad impression as people arrive. One is overzealous car parking attendants, and two is these ridiculous drug sniffer dogs that they have at some places, where instead of there being a couple of dogs and a couple of police or whoever it is with them, they'll have 9 or 10, and it's like, Hutchinson is a great example. What a way!
It's like Battersea Dogs Home. What a way
to introduce people to your venue. It's unbelievable.
I've got done twice at Goodwood, honestly, because of the cash in my pocket. Not that I was snorting cocaine or anything. And I know other people's got. Mike Parsay won't mind me saying he's got done with it. There's a fellow called Glenn got done with it. And basically, if you carry cash, these dogs, and it is thoroughly embarrassing. Because of course,
yeah.
A, you're treated like a criminal.
Yes.
And B, well, do you know what? If you had drugs on you anyway, because they can't do, how can I put it, an exhaustive search, you get away with it. So that makes me think, what the bloody hell's the point?
Yeah.
So, overzealous car parking attendants. I kid you not, I'll not name the racecourse because I absolutely vented my frustration with them. I was told not that long ago to straighten my wheels.
Right.
And I just laughed and walked off. Well, and then he said it again.
No disrespect, but the way you parked my car the other day at Haydock Park, I'm not surprised, because we ended up diagonally across a car parking space.
Yeah, sounds about right for SD. I mean, this is what we've come to. The two biggest problems in SD's life are parking attendants at racecourses and cute little dogs outside Haydock Park.
So can I just throw one other thing in about racecourses? And SD may or may not agree with me. Why is it that the most welcoming racecourses are all in the north or Scotland?
Oh, that doesn't surprise.
And, I don't disagree with you. I probably chuck Fakenham in as well, but you're right. You go up to Hexham, they're wonderfully welcoming. You go up to Kelso, God rest his soul, Richard Landale used to stand at the gates every meeting. Do you remember that?
He did. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they know what they're doing. What I will say is a lot of independent racecourses are sort of getting a little bit more. I mean, can you imagine whoever the chief executive is at Wolverhampton standing in the hotel reception welcoming people? It just would, it just wouldn't happen. It's just a very nice touch, isn't it?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, and I think there's a lesson to be learned there for some of the bigger racecourse groups further down south.
Yes, but John is coming down south to you. John, I will see you I'll see you at the truck stand. Tell you what, I'll get your breakfast. There you go.
Oh, what an offer. And on that bombshell, that is it.
That is a bombshell.
Have to get Josh's as well.
That is a bombshell. That is a bombshell. For that man to have his hand in his pocket, Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Thank you.